Welcome to episode 10 of the Wise Owl Knits Fibercast. I'm your host, Cheryl Beckrich, and I am here today and always to talk about all of my fibery pursuits. I'm mainly a knitter and a knitwear designer, but I also do some quilting, sewing, a small bit of crochet, and I recently purchased an antique Ligari 47 circular sock machine. So part of my time right now has been taken up watching videos and trying to learn how to make a pair of socks on the machine. You'd think it would be easy, and I'm sure eventually it will be, but right now it's a bit of a challenge for me. You're going to hear some background noise today because couple of things. One, our air conditioner is out, so the technician should be working on that hopefully soon. And we are also getting some new flooring in our basement. We've had carpeting down in the one room that is semi-finished, and it's been there for about 25 years. And you know how carpeting gets after a while, especially in a room that was kind of dedicated to our kids. The kids' playroom was down there. They used to do all kinds of, they would make videos, they would make newscasts down there with the neighbors. As they got to be teenagers, it was the room that they had some couches in, and they would watch TV and play their Xbox down there. Lots of spills that happened that they never told me about because they didn't even think about it or care. Some stains that were really very permanent. One right in the path that I walk all the time. I would clean the carpet and the stain would be gone, and then a week later, it pops back out. Then we had an incident where one of my granddogs peed down there and thought I got it all cleaned up, but then our dog peed in the same place, cleaned that up. It happened again and again, and finally I just said, it is time to replace this flooring and get rid of this carpeting, which hopefully will remove that smell from now on. So that is what's going on in the background. You will hear our alarm if you hit something too hard. It's a glass break sensor, so it beeps. So if you hear beeping, it's not anything with this equipment here, but it is our home alarm system. There it goes again. Beep, beep, beep. Today, I am wearing the Solomon poncho, and this is a new design of mine that you have seen before because I've talked about it on almost all of my previous podcasts. I finished the pattern writing finally and sent it off to the tech editor, and she is on vacation this week, so hopefully next week she'll plod through it. I may do a double check before she gets home because I had sent it off to her trying to compare the written instructions to the charts. And I know I've told you before, I'm a chart person, and comparing the two just is not an easy thing for me to do, and I have to just do it a little bit at a time. And I at one point said, I'm just going to send it off to her because she is very good at it, and I don't mind paying a little extra to get her to do it because I just don't do a good job at that anyway, and it gives me a headache. So I know having the written instructions is important. Not everybody loves charts like I do. Not sure what's wrong with their brains, but no, not really. Everybody's different, and everybody has a different way of doing things, and what's easy for me is harder for someone else, and what's easier for them is harder for me. So I always give the instructions both ways. I will be sending out an email to everybody on my test list with a link to join the group for testing. though that's probably a couple of weeks away yet. But I've got a good list of testers. If you ever want to test, please just send me an email. You can send it through my website, which is wiseowlknits.com, on the Contact Me page, or you can send an email to Cheryl@wiseowlknits.com. Either way, I can add you to our tester list, and then you'll get a notification every time a new test comes up. And then it's totally up to you whether you want to participate in that test or you want to pass this time around. And, we've all got things going on in our life, and I realize that not everybody can test everything, and not every project appeals to all the testers. So I certainly don't want you testing something that you really don't care for anyway. So the Solomon poncho will go off to testing soon. Do it both directions here. The button band is a faux button band. It is sewn back here, and then the buttons are sewn on the top. And I left a small bit at the top unsewn and put the button on the unsewn part, and a small bit at the bottom I left unsewed too. So there's a button there. But no buttonholes. Buttonholes in knitting, sometimes you have to have them, but I have never been very happy with any buttonhole that I've tried. A lot of them look good at the beginning, and then they just stretch out, and perhaps I'm doing them wrong, but I'm not a big fan of buttonholes in knitting, so I try to avoid those when I can. So that is the Solomon poncho. The tester call will go out very, very soon, and hopefully some of you can test. The yarn requirements will also be in that email so that you can shop ahead of time if you'd like. I used Skeins Southlander DK, one of my favorite yarns. It's kind of a rustic, not super processed yarn. It's good and sturdy and is fabulous with cables. As you can see, the cables just pop with the Southlander. But you could use actually any worsted weight yarn. The weight on Southlander DK is exactly the same as Cascade 220. So, there's always a range within the category of the actual size of the yarn and the weight of the yarn, but both Cascade 220 are 100 grams, 220 yards, so they're very, very much the same. So hopefully some of you will join the test for the Southlander poncho. Now I'm going to pause the video for just a second and take this off, because I did tell you that our air conditioning is out today, and this is not a summer garment. So I'll be right back. Well, I've removed the Solomon poncho because, as I said, our AC is out today and it is getting a bit warm in here. So excuse me for wearing my workout clothes, but I did go to my second to the last boot camp today, which boot camp is ending, and I'm super sad. But I figured I'm just gonna leave my workout clothes on because it's warm in here today, and that will be the most comfortable for me. Wearing the poncho was okay for a short period of time, but again, it's not a summer garment, so the poncho will stay mainly on the mannequin for right now. I'm going to move on to the other thing that I'm working on, which is the wildflower pullover, wildflower tee. There it is. And pattern writing has begun on that. I'm also doing, this one I did with Knitting McPurley minis and one full skein of Frankfurt fingering from Knitting McPurley. And I am super, super happy with how it came out. I love all the colors together. I know I said before I wasn't sure how I was going to like it, if I was going to like it as I was knitting it, but it turns out that I really, really love how it turned out. But as I was writing the pattern and sitting in my yarn room and looking at the other fingering weight yarns that I had, I thought, I wonder what this design would look like if I used two contrasting skeins of hand-dyed fingering that and just use the two colors rather than using 5 colors. So I've started another sweater, and this one is using a mohair mix that I got from Tuscan Knits, and that was one of the things that when she was clearing out all of her items, that was a skein that I got from her, and I have, I think, 3 of those. And I paired it with a skein, actually a sock set. There's a purple too, that's heels and toes, that I got from Sweet Mountain Crafts. So we're just getting into the main part of the color work right now, but I do really, really like how it's turning out. I don't think it looks as pretty on camera as it really does in real life. But, you know, when I get the whole thing done and take pictures, I think you're gonna like that version of the pattern too. And so when I write the pattern, I'll do it for using the 5 colors and also for just using 2 colors. So that should be fun. Give everybody some options. And I know we've all got, you know, special skeins where we only have 1 or 2 of beautiful hand-dyed yarn, and we're always looking for ways that we can use that and really show it off to its best advantage. And, you know, it's so fun to knit with. So I'm really enjoying this process, and can't wait till I get a little bit farther and can try it on and see what I think, but I think I'm going to be really happy with it. So that is what I am working on right now, design-wise. And what I am making, I've got a couple of different things. I know I had mentioned before that I am working on a quilt that will be for my son and future daughter-in-law. And I got all my strips cut out, so I'm going to insert a picture of that here. I cut all the 2.5-inch strips, and now I have to cut those to various different lengths for each of the different colors. So hopefully I'll get the different lengths cut this week, and then I can start sewing. I have an AccuQuilt machine, which will cut different sizes of pieces, but it doesn't totally cut everything out. It does really shorten the process. I'm kind of a machine type girl, if you haven't figured that out yet. I like using things that makes my life easier, especially for the parts of projects that I don't enjoy as much. And with quilting, cutting everything out is always the part I procrastinate on. So if I have a little help with that, that's a good thing and makes me more likely to partake in my hobby. So that's the Swerve quilt, and I don't have I'll insert a picture of the finished quilt too, or the quilt top, so you can see what that is supposed to look like when it's all done. Looking forward to that. Their wedding date is mid-September, so I need to get moving on it. I'd like to get it done and out of the way before before that day. You know, I can always give it to them later, but I'd prefer not to. I'd prefer to give them that gift before the wedding or at the wedding. So that is the Swerve quilt. I'm working on that. I've also got and made some progress on my God's Promise socks. Let me grab those. So even though I've got the circular sock machine, I had some socks on the needles already, so I needed to finish these. And I had an occasion where I just needed something small in my purse, so always good to have a pair of socks at the ready, or a hat or something small for when you're in situations like that. I don't know where the yarn labels are, but whoops, I dropped my wildflower tee off the desk. Doesn't look like I lost any stitches, so yay, that's good. Anyway, the yarn for the God's Promise socks by Anna Knitter is opal sock yarn that I also got from Anna Knitter. I'm not making these. I made a shorter cuff, and there you can see the stitch pattern. It's a modified basket weave, but a beautiful stitch pattern and works great with this yarn. So that is the God's Promise socks, and those are the things that I'm working on this week. I've also got, things in mind that I want to do. I want to make some project bags that I can sell on my website, and I have got some other little ideas of small knitting accessories that I can add to my website too. I'm not going to do anything big, but I'd like to offer a couple of different products and just expand my offerings a little bit more than just patterns. So watch for those to come, and I obviously will let you know about those whenever I add something new. I did do a little community service and purchased a few things from a local vendor, not a local, but an online vendor that is a friend of mine and does great work. She makes bags. I got a couple of bags from Susan at Delightful Works. One is the shark bag. Of course, it's so cute. Gray on the inside like shark skin, and has the shark fabric on the outside. Nice little bag. I mean, not super little. Definitely big enough for a hat, a couple of pairs of socks. But so cute. And then she also had a bucket bag that has owls on it. So I had to get that too, and I really love these bucket bags. I don't know if I'm capable of making one, but I'd like to someday. We'll see. It's kind of hard when, there's other people that do such a great job that, I'm sorry, it's moving. Can't focus on the owls. But they are very cute. And along with the order, just as a little bonus, Susan sent me a little skein cozy, and it's of stretchy fabric. So that's great too. I haven't really used one of these before, but I'm going to try it out real soon. So that is my community service, or what I have purchased this week. I'm supposed to not be purchasing anything, but sometimes that's difficult. There's so many cute things out there that we need for our hobby. So that's what I've got. My good news today is that I am going to do a giveaway. I know you've seen my Sharkey pattern, my Sharkey sample. I am going to give away a kit to make Sharkey. It will include everything that you need, all the yarn, the stuffing, the eyes, and crochet cotton for the teeth. And will also include a shark project bag that I am making myself. I haven't gotten that done yet, so I can't show it to you, but I will do that. So if you would like to be entered into the contest to receive the Sharkey kit, it will include the pattern too, obviously. Maybe not so obviously, so I do need to say that. But if you would like to be entered into the contest to win the kit for Sharkey, please leave a comment and I will randomly choose from those comments before my next podcast, which will be a week from today. Today is Wednesday, the 21st, so it will be on the 28th. So if you would like to win a kit, please leave a comment below. Also, please like and subscribe. That really helps me out, and I love to read your comments anyway, so a few more comments would be nice, and you can win the Sharkey kit. So please leave your comments, and you'll hear who the winner is next week. Thanks so much for watching today. I really appreciate you spending some time with me. Please excuse all the extraneous noise because that's just part of life, and I know we all know that happens. So thank you so much, and I'll see you next week. Bye.